After Netanyahu's presentation, we discussed the Iranian nuclear program with former Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Dore Gold. Gold is also the author of The Rise of Nuclear Iran, How Tehran Defies the West. Ambassador Gold, great to be with you on CBN News again.
Likewise.
Prime Minister Netanyahu really, I would say, stunned the world in many ways. What was your reaction to his presentation?
What Prime Minister Netanyahu did was he authenticated our suspicions. Now you have authentic Iranian documents telling us that Iran indeed has been seeking nuclear weapons which they can put on the top of the missile program, on the missiles that they're developing.
The pushback already has been that this is rehashing old information. How would you respond to some of the criticism that's come already?
Even if we knew about the idea of taking the conventional warhead off of a Shahab-3 missile and putting a spherical nuclear device there instead, even if we knew that, we never knew it from basically an Iranian government source. This is something entirely new. You know, it has the stamp of the Iranian state on it. And having that basically allows us to know what we're dealing with.
There's a countdown right now to May 12th when President Trump will decide to decertify or certify the nuclear deal. How would you think is the best way to address the Iranian nuclear deal right now?
Well, I think the whole Iranian nuclear deal has been built on fabrications. And it's better to negotiate after you've established a baseline of truth. Basically, that's what's happening with North Korea. North Korea has been cheating America for years, under the Clinton administration, under the Bush administration, and simply President Trump changed the approach. And we're not there yet, but it looks like he will get closer to the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula than any of his predecessors. If he manages to do that, that shows how to negotiate with a rogue state. And I think the lessons of North Korea should be applied to the Iranian case as well.
Do you see that there is any growing conflict right now between Iran and Israel? For example, it's reported that Israel attacked an Iranian facility inside Syria the other day. What do you know about that? And do you think there's a growing sense that Israel and Iran are on a collision course?
Well, Iran is not next door to us. Iran's, 1,300 kilometers away, roughly speaking. So Iran, because it wants to attack Israel, wants to bring its forces right up to our borders. Well, how do they do that? They've got to find a country that shares a border with Israel and build bases there and deploy forces there. That is exactly what they're doing at present. And Israel is saying, you know what? We will not allow anyone, or we will specifically not allow Iran to convert Syria into a satellite state with forward Iranian positions right up against the Israeli border. And that's leading to the current relations we have, I should say military relations, where the Iranians are determined to get to the border of Israel and we're determined to keep them away.
Do you see a potential war with Israel and Iran? Or I should say perhaps there's already a hot war going on to a certain extent.
Look, there's two wills here. There's the will of Iran to get to our border, and there's the will of Israel to keep them away from our border. And how this works out, maybe they'll change their minds. Maybe they'll get focused internally. Don't forget, if President Trump cancels the nuclear deal, many in Iran will be very frustrated because the nuclear deal was their ticket back to the world economy. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know what the consequences of that are in terms of their domestic politics. Many things can change, but they can only change for the better.
Yeah, Prime Minister Netanyahu's presentation reemerged this whole idea of Iran's nuclear facilities. The question for years has been, can Israel attack Iran's nuclear facilities and destroy them? Or would Israel do that? What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is that we have to have the capacity to defend ourselves against long-range threats. And that's something Israel's been thinking about for a number of years. I remember when Yitzhak Rabin, our former prime minister, was asked, well, why are we doing this deal with the Palestinians? He's saying, well, we're doing a deal with our immediate neighbors so we can deal with the threat from far away. So it's as though Rabin already knew Iran was going to be the big problem. Hopefully, with the capacities we've developed, much of it with the help and cooperation of the United States, we'll be able to deal with whatever they throw at us.